The next syntax style we're going to look at is the cumulative style. In case you haven't been paying attention, syntax is the arrangement of words and phrases within a sentence. In other words, sentence structure. Okay, so the cumulative style. If you know what the word cumulative means, it means everything all together. The cumulative style is an initial independent clause is followed, or sometimes preceded, by multiple dependent clauses or phrases which build upon that independent clause. That probably sounds kind of complicated, but once you see some examples, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here's one example. A mountain sprang up out of the horizon, strong and majestic, crags jutting at sloped angles, a river running down its eastern face. The independent clause is here. But afterwards, you have phrases and clauses that all describe and go back to that main independent clause. So it's very clear what the main idea of the sentence is. And these phrases that come after all modify that initial phrase. So everything is built around this, but added together. These all add on to and keep referring back to that main clause. Here's another example. The lush and beautiful music struck him, strings swelling, the singer's voice trembling and echoing, pouring forth from his cheap earbuds. So once again, we have a main independent clause followed by a bunch of dependent things that could not be sentences on their own, but that they all come back and are built upon that first main idea. Everything that comes after is meant to describe the music. So it's cumulative. These things accumulate to affect how the reader sees that main clause. Now this one's a little different. Fingernails deliberately painted clashing colors, equally jarring clothing, and a sarcastic wry smile always on her lips. She was a unique girl. So in this one, the independent clause is at the end. So all the things that accumulate before the main clause. So you can have the main clause go wherever you want, but these all are dependent ideas, so it's cumulative because you need all of them attached to this independent clause for it to work. If you just had these and they stop there, that would not be a complete sentence. They have to build upon this main idea. And you can delay the main idea for an effect if you wish. So some advantages. As you've probably seen, it's great for description because you can just start listing things that modify the main clause. It's structurally adaptable. You can put the main clause at the beginning, you can put the main clause at the end, you can have the main clause in the middle, and it allows the reader to determine the value of each part. So all these different dependent things, the reader gets to decide what is the most important. All right, disadvantages. Too many sentences in the cumulative style would probably become tiring for the reader. They're long and the ideas are kind of stacked onto one another. So one sentence like this can be really powerful, but if you just have a bunch of these sentences in a row, then it's not going to be effective. And two, it's difficult to use effectively in formal analysis. Now, you could use this in, say, an argument essay, in an introduction or conclusion, somewhere where you can have a bit more creativity. But if you're trying to explain something, it's probably difficult to do effectively. It's not impossible. A good writer could probably pull it off. But in formal analysis, you're trying to be very clear and straightforward. And this might not work all the time in that situation. And that is the cumulative style. Mindeman out.